Hello everyone, I want to share with you my new ramps for changing the oil on my cars. I've been wanting the ramps for a long time, but every time I looked at them online or whatever, the metal ones don't have enough capacity that it's going to last through different vehicles over time. And the plastic ones just seem like eventually they all break. And also, I don't want my head under the car when those plastic ramps break. Also, it makes it very hard to be able to use safety stands on those plastic ramps because the ramps are all one piece. And so once the tire is up here, you know, this is under the car and this is exactly where you would want to put your safety jack. So not conducive to doing that. Harbor Freight at one point had ramps that came apart, but they stopped making them, so my guess is that they didn't work. So I finally broke down and decided to build my own. There's a few of these on YouTube, so nothing new, but perhaps I came up with something a little bit innovative here. So first of all, these are all made out of scrap, so as you'll notice, they are slightly different. And they're made with mostly a decking material that I had from a deck remodel. So I planed the deck boards and basically glued them together, screwed them together. There's a ton of glue, ton of screws, so they're not gonna come apart. Plus, this is all downward force. Initially, I was gonna make these all solid wood, but they were very heavy. And also I was using up a lot of wood, so I realized that I didn't have to do that. So I started staggering them and putting these boards there to make up the difference. And I think this works very well. They've been drying up for a few days now, so they should be good to go. So essentially you have this board, this run right here. The ramp is 36 inches long, and then basically steps to get up there, and it climbs very well. And then at the top you have this assembly here. The reason why there's a hole underneath is so that I can slide a jack under there, and that's the right one to use. It turns out that that might be, I've had this for like, I don't know, 30 years. Found it somewhere, and it turns out that it's a really nice jack as opposed to the stuff that you find now on eBay or even Amazon. So the idea is that it can slide that under here and be able to lift this, because these ramps actually come apart. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. Okay, so I cannot do it. Here we go. So they come apart. So the idea is that once the tire is up here, I can take this off and then slide the jack under here and lift the tire just enough so that I can put a safety stand under the car, under the pinch point which would fall right around in this area. And that would allow me to even take this off if I wanted to, so that the front tires or the rear tires would be completely off the ground. What I might do eventually is build another set of these, but shallower. These are 7 inches from the surface of here to the ground. I might build a shallower set that fits underneath the car so that I can put them on the backside and have all 4 wheels climb up on the ramp. And hopefully there will be enough room so that I can still slide that jack underneath. That jack gets pretty flat, maybe down to about 4 inches, and be able to lift the car in the back so that all 4 wheels can come off the ground. So I'm going to set up to climb on and show you how that's done. All right, that worked pretty nice. I didn't hit the stop there, but the tire is off the ramp. Hopefully I can take that out. Probably have to go a little bit further, and so is this side. So let's see how this works. Well, actually I don't need to do this right now because I'm only changing the oil. Well, let's see. So I can slide this. Okay, so it comes off. Well, I guess while we're at it, let's see how it would work by lifting it. All right, so this jack is pretty cool. It has a fast turn and then slow with more power. So the corner of the jack is catching on the bottom. Flipping the plywood a little bit. Let's move it a little bit further. There you go. Okay, so it's not perfect, but this will allow me to take a jack stand, do this, okay, lower it gently. Okay, now I can take, I don't know if I got enough clearance, but you get the point. I gotta raise it one more notch. Of course, make sure your e-brake is on, and probably good to have something to block the rear wheel from rolling. Okay, so now almost free. Way. More. So this car is very stiff. It's kind of short. So I would consider the option of raising the whole thing from that jack not really a success, and that is because it has to be raised quite a bit because the tire suspension has to compress into the wheel well, and then the car comes up. So the safety jack has to be raised up quite a bit before the tire becomes free when you put that thing down. So for the purpose of rotating the tires once a year, it may be doable. But really the best use of these ramps is just to basically change the oil. The reason why I wanted to leave as small as possible of a hole underneath that stand, because obviously I don't want the car to be hanging out in midair. So that opening right now is 5.5 inches wide, and the hydraulic jack would need an opening about 11 inches wide. So I didn't make it that big. But in retrospect, there is all this room here, right? From here where the safety jack needs to be to this area, this whole thing could be made wider and have accommodation for the hydraulic jack, which will allow me to lift this up easily without breaking a sweat, and also much higher so that I can put the safety stand on a higher notch and then lower the car again. So I think from this standpoint, it's not a really passing grade, but as far as having the car up 7 inches off the ground so that I can slide underneath to change the oil, and being able to remove the ramp from this area in case I want to, you know, get under here, I think that's a success from that standpoint. So out of the 3 purposes, I guess, these ramps can have, I'll say that 2 of them are good and the other one is 50% good. So make what you want out of it. These things are going to work for me because most of the times I just change the oil, and I was sick and tired of having to lift it. There is no good way to lift these cars, all VWs really, especially the Beetle. There is no central lifting point, so the pinch weld is really the only way to lift the car and support it, but you can't do both at the same time, as you know. So this is a problem. I wish somebody figured out a way to do that more easily, that doesn't cost $1 million, that it's not a hydraulic lift, but that's what it is for now. So so I'm gonna put this back down and just go ahead and change my oil. Other than that, these are the ramps I built. I guess, like I said, out of the 3 purposes, 2 of them are good, 1 of them not so good, but it'll work for me. So hopefully you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. Good luck. Thanks.